Diana Williams, Scott Clark with sports, Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening. The mean streets of New York are getting meaner. 3 innocent people have been shot, hit by bullets intended for somebody else. 1 child is dead, another child and an adult are seriously injured. They were caught in the crossfire in the Castle Hill housing project on Havermeyer Avenue in the Bronx. Jim Dolan has the story now, reporting live from Jacoby Hospital. Jim?
Bill's 7-year-old Joseph Washington is dead, and his 7-year-old friend, his best friend, is in critical condition here at Jacoby Hospital, along with 28-year-old Abraham Smith, all of whom were shot inside the Castle Hill housing projects as a gun battle raged around them, a drug battle between drug dealers. With flashlights in the darkness, police searched the scene where a child was killed, fragments of evidence in an envelope, no one taking a chance with this killer, but it's all too late to prevent a father's agony.
So I raced over to my son, and he repeatedly told me he was shot in the back. And I asked him how was he feeling. He said it hurts.
Police say a verbal dispute turned violent, and the victims were caught in the crossfire.
At this point in time, we believe there's a possibility that the all were innocent bystanders.
Eyewitness News has learned that the police believe an alleged drug dealer, the owner of this expensive foreign car, which is parked at one of the city's poorest housing projects, was involved in the shooting. Investigators are looking for him now. And after a child has died in Castle Hill, learn from a child what it means to live in Castle Hill.
It's all right, but it gets wild sometimes, you know. A lot of shooting and everything.
A lot of gunfire here?
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
So when something like this happens, doesn't really even surprise you, does it?
No, not that much.
Police are now saying that Abraham Smith, the adult who was injured in this gun battle, who is here at Jacoby Hospital now, may actually have been the target of the 2 other people who were involved in that gun battle. But it's hard to imagine how the 2 7-year-old children could have been the intentional target of anyone. Reporting live from the Bronx, Jim Dolan, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Tomorrow, friends and family will say their final farewell to another victim of violence. A wake will be held for drama teacher Alan Winslow. He was killed for his bike in Prospect Park on Tuesday. Tonight, there's a break in the case. 4 teenagers are charged with his murder, and that is Bertha Coombs' story.
16-year-old Jerome Nisbet walked with his face downturned and didn't flinch when he bumped his head getting into the police car tonight. Officials say Nisbet fatally shot 42-year-old Alan Winslow in the back last Tuesday as the drama teacher tried to ride away from him and 3 other teens trying to steal his bicycle.
The young men who stand accused of this crime range in age from 14 years old to 16. 14 to 16. It boggles the mind and crushes the heart to think of it.
The family of one suspect, 14-year-old Gregory Morris, met with detectives at the 70th precinct tonight, but did not want to talk with reporters. Morris and the others, 16-year-old Chad Jackson and 14-year-old Robert Brown, are all being charged with second-degree murder, along with the alleged gunman Nisbet. Friends who'd spoken with Brown's family tonight say they feel the older boys led him astray.
Peer pressure.
Because for him to think of something like that on his own, it wasn't him.
Not the type of kid that would just go and do that to somebody, you know? He's not like that.
Tonight, as Alan Winslow's family prepares for his funeral, joggers and cyclists were in Prospect Park beneath the watchful eye of a police helicopter overhead. In the wake of Winslow's murder, police presence in the park remains high. But while police have 4 men in custody for that crime, 2 sexual assaults committed in the park earlier last month remain unsolved. In Prospect Park, I'm Bertha Coombs, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And police tell us that they have still not found the murder weapon. Bill?
Tonight it's time to bury another victim of crime, a detective murdered in the Essex County Courthouse in Newark, New Jersey. Aldamanai Kamal is charged with the killing. Investigators say he gunned down the narcotics officer, John Sizrek, yesterday to keep him from testifying at a drug trial. Kamal's girlfriend, Tanisha James, is also charged in the shooting. She works for the court, and police say she confessed to smuggling in the gun that killed. Both suspects tonight are in jail. Solomon Kemp is also in trouble tonight. He is charged with repeatedly sodomizing a 14-year-old boy. Kemp worked as a New York City school custodian in Brooklyn, and he faces 154 counts of sexual abuse against the teenager. Police say the sexual abuse took place in PS 287 and at Kemp's home. Diana?
Bill, it's a sure bet in Atlantic City tonight that some cocktail waitresses are ready to replace their skimpy outfits. Harrah's is the first Atlantic City casino to allow its waitresses to wear pants in low-heeled or flats instead of the traditional thigh-high skirts and heels. The company says it's for legal reasons.
The more comfortable we have our people feel, the better service they can provide to our patrons and guests. And, you know, this is sort of consistent with that.
Harrah's is also making changes because of a lawsuit that accused the Sands Casino of forcing its waitresses to wear revealing outfits. And tonight, the Denny's restaurant chain is providing some food for thought after new allegations that it discriminates against blacks. The Martin Luther King Jr. Children's Choir was returning from a tour in Baltimore and Washington, D.C. over the weekend when they were refused service at 2 Denny's restaurants in Virginia.
We even tried to work out something with them so that they would perhaps do something, carry out. We were very workable. We had hungry children that we needed to feed, that we were responsible for.
A Denny's spokesperson says the restaurant just didn't have the staff to serve the 130-member choir. Just last month, Denny's was hit with charges that its employees refused to serve black Secret Service agents traveling with the president. Bill?
The angry and disappointed fallout from the aborted nomination of Lani Guinier to a top post in the Justice Department continues to rain down on the White House tonight. The president finds himself in danger of losing the support of women's groups and African Americans. It was easy to see the disappointment and discontent with the president's decision at an NAACP dinner in Astoria, Queens.
We need to rally our forces. We need to mobilize our constituencies. And you can rest assured that the NAACP is not going to rest with this situation.
The chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus says the White House has taken a giant step backward.
Make no mistake, some people who worked to put Bill Clinton in office are angry. Those who took to heart his pledge to bring about change, to some extent, do feel betrayed.
With the search for a new nominee already underway, Lani Guinier insisted at a news conference this morning that she was treated unfairly and judged without a hearing.
And many others have misinterpreted my writings. I have always believed in one person, one vote, and nothing I have ever written is inconsistent with that.
As for how she feels now about her old law school friend, the president, Guinier chose her words very carefully.
I disagree with his decision to withdraw my nomination. I think he has the opportunity to be a great president, and I hope he takes advantage of that opportunity.
But Jesse Jackson is less forgiving. He says the decision makes the president appear, in his words, awfully weak and awfully incompetent.
Reagan stood with Bork. Bush stood with Clarence Thomas. Clinton did not stand with Guinier. It's not fair.
While the White House goes about damage control on the Guinier nomination, another Clinton compromise has gay activists crying foul tonight. ABC News reports that Mr. Clinton is bowing to Senator Sam Nunn's plan for handling gays in the military. The plan is don't ask, don't tell. Gays can serve if they don't tell. The Pentagon promises no questions if the gays hide their homosexuality.
Oh, still ahead, we have a remarkable story tonight about a boy's will to survive.
Yes, next on Eyewitness News, the story of the little stowaway who hitched a ride on a cargo jet and made it from South America all the way to South Florida.
And doctors think they've solved the mystery illness that's killed 11 Native Americans.
And they had to pull him out of the water finally, but he gave it his very best shot. A look back on a swimmer's attempt to make some important history. Later on Eyewitness News as we continue.
Story of survival tonight. A teenage Colombian boy flew in the wheel well of a jet 35,000 feet in the air. It is a miracle that the young stowaway survived. And tonight, many are wondering just how he did it. This is the jet, a Colombian cargo jet carrying fresh flowers from Bogota. It became a passageway to America for a young boy, but it's a miracle the trip didn't kill him. Guillermo Rosales survived sub-zero temperatures on a 3-hour flight covering 1,000 miles from Colombia to Miami. When the DC-8 landed at Miami International Airport, Guillermo tumbled out of the wheel well covered with frost. But on this jet, the wheel well is apparently pressurized, and that is probably what saved Guillermo's life. Tonight, he's just fine.
And the boy who was reportedly eating out of garbage cans in Bogota is getting a hero's welcome in Miami's Colombian community. Earlier, he talked about his trip on a radio program and with reporters.
He was still bad, and he was scared. And he didn't know what to do out here when he arrived at Miami airport.
Now, stowaways are normally sent back home immediately, but officials say that Guillermo may be an orphan, so they're making an exception and they are letting him stay, at least for now.
There's a break tonight in a baffling case. Health officials say they may have solved the mystery of what it is that is sickening and killing members of the Navajo Nation. So far, 11 people have died from mysterious flu-like symptoms that have been striking young, healthy people on the Navajo reservation. Tonight, in a hastily called news conference, New Mexico health officials issued their preliminary findings.
There's a virus associated with this illness that is transmitted basically by droppings, aerosolized dry urine with rodents.
As a result of these findings, health officials in New Mexico are urging people on the Navajo reservation to avoid contact, if they possibly can, with mice and other rodents.
Skip Storch is nursing a battered and bruised body.
That's right. He is paying the price for trying to beat Mother Nature at her game. Next on Eyewitness News, we look back at his courageous attempt to swim from Cuba to Florida.
And another story of inspiration, we're going to see if this physically challenged athlete can pedal around the world. It's all coming up next. Skip Storch is resting tonight in Florida, resting his body and trying to heal a bruised ego following his attempt at the world's greatest swim. Skip's path took him from the shores of Cuba out into the treacherous waters of the Florida Straits. It all came to a dramatic end 30 hours and 17 miles later when Skip, exhausted and shivering with cold, was forced to surrender his dream. There, throughout his incredible journey, was our own Steve Hartman.
He was in Havana for his 36th birthday, and all he could do was sit on the boat and watch the weather blow by.
Crowning her spirit, a coral halo.
There would be no swimming, not in this. And if there was any doubt who was boss here, that was settled tonight.
I got a funny feeling in my stomach, like butterflies.
Just channel it, you know? Channel it. Just channel it and we got it.
The swim, rescheduled for Wednesday morning, began at daybreak.
This is a very difficult thing I'm going to try.
Skip's whole strategy here was to be methodical and let the currents do most of the work. But in hindsight, it didn't seem to pay off. He never found the currents, and he got very cold. Here his body temperature is critically low, yet he's still harboring thoughts of continuing. That stopped when his trainer said he'd have no part of it.
You know, don't get into that. I know that's how you feel, but don't. Listen, you have nothing to apologize, man. You swam 24 hours in the ocean. There is nothing to apologize for.
This was a dream of mine for so many years, and I've talked about it and I planned it, and I felt like I let people down.
Of course, Skip Storch let no one down. That'll take a long time for him to believe, but it's true. Because somewhere out there in the ocean, there's a sunken shark cage. And if you ever want to find it, just look 4,100 feet down and about 30 miles further out than any place you or I could have put it. Steve Hartman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And Skip told Steve, or maybe we should say guaranteed Steve, that he will make another attempt at the world's greatest swim sometime in the future.
Sports fans in Cedar Rapids, Iowa are being bowled over big time by a new pastime. It's called biosphere bowling, or human bowling balls. Players strap themselves into a 200-pound spherical cage and are rolled toward foam pins. The goal is to knock down as many pins as possible, and luckily enough they are foam. Only instead of using your hands, this game requires using your head, your arms, your torso, your feet, whatever else you got.
Well, if you got free time, right? Two couples are the lucky winners in last night's New Jersey's Pick 6 lottery drawing, and they will share the big $13 million jackpot. Governor Florio, who said that he likes to be around lucky people, handed out the first checks to Raymond and Diane Ryle and to Mitchell and Tammy Medoff. The Medoffs explained how they won.
A number of years we've been married, our ages, and it happened to be the winning number.
He found out in his office this morning when he picked up the paper.
Now, each couple will receive about $538,000 a year for the next 20 years. The Medoffs say that they don't know what they're going to do with all that money. And the Riles, they say that they're going to pay their bills, and they also plan to take a vacation.
What would you do if you had that kind of money?
I don't know, but they can probably pay off their bills pretty quickly with that kind of money.
$538,000?
$538,000.
Is that a year or?
A year, over 20 years.
20 years.
We
That
could
would pay off a lot of bills.
spend that pretty quickly, I'm
I'd
sure.
buy the station, you know. Well, we have the story of a big challenge for Skip Storch. We have a story of an uphill battle for the Yanks coming.
That's right. Scott Clark has all the pinstripe action, and Hojo and the Mets show some signs of life. Can they add some offense to the defense?
And the men's finals are set in the French Open. We're going to bring you Center Court when we continue with sports and more news from Eyewitness News in just a moment. There is. But first, the Win 4 and numbers drawing seen earlier tonight on Channel 7. Now we take you live to lottery headquarters for tonight's Take 5 drawing.
Take 5 drawing for today, Friday, June 4th, 1993, where players can win cash prizes by matching 5, 4, or 3 numbers, or a free bonus ticket by matching just 2 numbers. Now for tonight's Take 5 numbers. The first winning number is 32. Tonight's second winning number is 18. The third winning number for tonight is 17. Tonight's fourth winning number is 22, and the fifth winning Take 5 number is 3. Tonight's winning Take 5 numbers are 32, 18, 17, 22, and 3. For the New York Lottery, I'm Stephanie Moore. Thank you and have a good night.
The GMC Jimmy is already loaded with a powerful V6 engine and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes standard. And now we've dropped in a few extras. Like reclining seats, air conditioning, a killer stereo, tinted glass, and much more. Now, how do we load you into a Jimmy? With this limited-time smart lease.
Drop in to your Tri-State GMC truck dealer today.
You can buy cheapest service in anything, but if it doesn't get you to your end result, it's not worth whatever you pay for it.
When you have competition like I do, you better be there for your customers. We chose AT&T because our 800 service is our front door. If it shuts down, we shut down.
If you have the kind of business that lives and dies on 800 service, you go with the most reliable, and that's AT&T.
The quality isn't there, it's not a bargain.
AT&T, the best in the business.
First, Roy Rogers introduced their juicy bacon cheeseburger on sourdough bread. Then they introduced Roy's real roast beef on sourdough bread. And now there's Roy's great tasting sourdough grilled chicken sandwich with Monterey Jack cheese and Hellman's Dijonnaise. Yep, looks like Roy's sandwiches are really on a roll.
I thought you said they were on sourdough bread.
I did.
Oh, he said roll.
Yeah, roll.
That's what he said. You see that? I was right.
Roll bread, sourdough.
What do you mean roll bread? There's no such thing as a roll.
Roy Rogers.
Thank you.
Lots of sports tonight. Yankees for one thing, and here's Scott Clark.
And thank you, Diana. Yankees headed into their contest with the Rangers, winners of 5 of their last 6 games, looking to extend that streak. We take you to where else but the Lone Star State. And there the Yankees jumped on Rangers starter Kevin Brown for 2 in the first inning. That's Matt Noakes with that single. He drives in Wade Boggs, the Yankees with an early 2-0 lead. For the Yankees starter Jim Abbott, he led 2-1 into the 8th, but there Billy Ripken singles to center field. That brings one Ranger home, and then look at this. Gerald Williams missed the ball. Oh boy, the bases got emptied. The Rangers over the Yankees. Another hard luck game for Jim Abbott. 5-3 the final. Minnesota beat Cleveland on the board 3-2. California doubled the Tigers. Oakland and Toronto tied at 3 in the 10th, and Seattle and Baltimore trying to find a winner that in the 10th as well. Hey, the Mets in Houston tonight. We take you to the Astrodome. Where else? We begin in the top of the second inning. This is Jeff Kent stepping in to face Pete Harnish, and you got to get the good pitchers early. Kent did that with a shot. Woo! 2-run home run, 2-0 Mets. Later, Howard Johnson, he helps Frank Tanana with a gem of a grab off Ken Caminiti. Whoa, look at that. Then the throw in time to get his man, but Hojo could not help Tanana here in the 5th. Craig Biggio slams one with 2 aboard, and it's headed out. Gone. 3-run home run. The Mets, yep, they get beat by the Astros. The final was 7-2. They go down hard tonight. Colorado beat Philly 2-1. Montreal over Chicago 3-1, and St. Louis postponed by rain, the wet stuff in Cincinnati. Nice spelling on Cincinnati, huh? Cincinnati, C-I-N-C-I-N-N-A-T-I, Cincinnati. In tennis, the men's singles finalists have been determined at the French Open. Jim Courier has advanced to the finals with a 4-set victory over Richard Krajicek. Courier going after a third straight title. No American male has ever done it. To do it, he'll have to get through Sergei Bruguera. He advanced for the right to play Courier with a straight set win over Andrei Medvedev in the other semi-final to set up the finals. Hey, tomorrow, favored Prairie Bayou and Derby winner Sea Hero lead a 14-horse field in the 125th running of the Belmont Stakes. It also marks the 20th anniversary of the great Triple Crown run of one great horse, Secretariat.
Secretariat has opened a 22-length lead. He is going to be the Triple Crown winner. Here comes Secretariat to the wire. An unbelievable, an amazing performance. He hits the finish 25 lengths in front.
What a great one. You could watch it again and again and again. And there are the Knicks taking on the Bulls in Chicago, of course. Game 6, Eastern Conference Finals right now. Fourth quarter, 6.5 minutes to go. 79-77. Chicago. Before tonight's game, Michael Jordan issued a statement to address claims of his extravagant gambling on the golf course. Yesterday, Richard Esquinas released a book claiming that Jordan owed him as much as $1.25 million and more. That from gambling debts on the golf course. Before tonight's game, Jordan would not speak about the claims, but he issued a statement saying, among other things, I have played golf with Richard Esquinas with wagers made between us. Because I did not keep records, I cannot verify how much I won or lost. I can assure you that the level of our wagers was substantially less than the preposterous amounts that have been reported. That's an end quote. We'll see what happens. I'm Scott Clark. That's it for sports, folks.
We will indeed. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Seems our streak of glorious weekends is coming to an end. Speaking of things that we're going to see what happens.
Yes, Sam has the soggy AccuWeather forecast coming up next. Don't go away.
Nightline, what really killed the nomination of Lonnie Guinier? Among our guests, Judge Robert Bork, conservative radio guru Rush Limbaugh, tonight.
Pick a topic, any topic, and they got an opinion about it. 5 women I really enjoy talking to on the next Oprah. Monday at 4, right here on Channel 7.
But one thing is true, we never can have enough heroes. And so we offer to you the story of Josh Byrne. Josh Byrne's an amazing man in Calgary, Canada, recovering from a very bad auto accident in 1986. He was paralyzed on his right side, but here he is now, after an incredible cycle of rehabilitation, getting ready to bicycle around the world. He leaves later this month. He's expected to finish in October of next year, and that would be a tremendous story if he's able to do that after all the things he's been through.
Would be.
Safe trip.
Josh Byrne is his name. Keep an eye out for him.
Okay. How do you get across the ocean, though? Does he bike on the boat as he's going across?
Right.
No, how does that work? Okay, I think about these things.
Let's just walk over here. Let her think about that for a little while we talk about what's going on this weekend. Hey, you're making plans, and yes, we've got one day we've got to be concerned about. We've got some clouds, and we've seen how the system can deliver some showers, just like it did this morning, and I think we've got a little bit more of that coming on early in the morning. 63 degrees outside right now. The barometer's rising. Your relative humidity about 65%. Winds are from the south at 6 miles per hour. 76-57 the split. Let's deal with the future. Satellite picture shows you the clouds that are rolling in with the next area of low pressure, which will be the last one that we see from this system. Of the 4 or 5 that have passed in like the last 2 days, this one's the largest, and it has been one of the strongest. As it's been moving through Kentucky, Tennessee, also into Ohio, numerous reports, just sheets of information on the types of thunderstorms and thunderstorm damage that have been going back here. Hailstones reported golf ball size. We've had tornadoes with this thing since it left, Colorado really, and it's been pushing them all the way across through Kentucky and Tennessee. So we know this, and we know it's fairly wet. As these clouds move in, start the rain before daybreak tomorrow morning. Leave it damp, cloudy, a little rainy and drizzly for a good part of the day tomorrow. Possibility of hearing some thunder? Yeah, I think we have to include that. There have been thunderstorms all the way to the north of this line into Michigan, so I think that while there won't be a lot of them around here tomorrow, by tomorrow afternoon, you could hear a little rumble of thunder. Call this one cloudy and kind of damp at 54 degrees. In the morning, 52, 53 out toward the island. Inland numbers hovering right around 50 degrees or a little less. 64 degrees, the warmest we can deliver tomorrow. Could this turn out better than we're saying? Yes, it could if this low were to travel a little farther to the south or faster. There are your two possibilities if you're one to hold on to the best shot of the weather. But I would tend to say that this thing has been on track so far, and I think we're going to keep some clouds and a few showers in the forecast as well. But as you can see, it's the last one, and finally the stationary front moves offshore along with this low behind it. High pressure comes in, so our timing would deliver some clearing skies by about Sunday morning, and maybe a few remnant clouds at that time, but getting more and more sunshine as the day goes on. Sunday looks like Sunday afternoon into Monday will be the best looking time. Monday looks like it'll be a very nice day, and it'll warm up by the end of the week as well. So AccuWeather forecast looks like this. I know it's a few clouds in there, and it's rainy and cool at 7 o'clock in the morning at 54 degrees. AccuWeather says for the rest of the day, cloudy and cool. There will be a little rain, 64 degrees, and that's Saturday. Let's get out of this and get to Sunday where it looks a little bit better. Morning clouds should turn into sunshine by afternoon at 72 degrees. Monday quite nice at 78. Then we're back into warm air Tuesday, 81 degrees.
Wow.
Enjoy your weekend. Let's hope for the best tomorrow.
Okay. Same to you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. And that's the news for now.
Nightlife is next for Diana Williams and Sam Champion and Scott Clark and all of us at Eyewitness News. I'm Bill Beutel. Thanks for being with us. Good luck and be well, and good night and have a wonderful weekend.
Good night.